Hello, and I'm Corina, and welcome to another edition of Archaeology for the Soul. I'm so happy to have you with us again because I'm truly excited to be able to share with you wisdom from others that have walked the path and that know how it is to journey from the dark night of the soul to this place of peace and harmony. Because I know how it is to be there, and I know how important it is in our days to find our inner peace, to heal what hurts inside, so we can truly be fulfilled and happy in this life. So I'm here again with Vima. We already talked to her twice, and many of you know her. She is a multi-talented a vocalist, a musician, a poet, writer, a teacher in her own right, a practitioner of meditation for so many years, and she has so much to share with us. I'm happy that she's here with us today, and she's going to share her gifts and how and why she wanted to replace medication after her accident, replace medication with sound and meditation, and how was she able to do that? Why? And she's going to share with us how we can do that. Right? So welcome, Vima. Happy to have you again. And I'm so excited to talk to you and hear about how you were able to use ancient techniques instead of medication.
Both times I've had the near-death experience were involved my physical body. In that one was an accident, the other was surgery. So it required that my body needed healing. And one of the things that I saw as a child was how music or a song could distract from what was going on in the environment. But most importantly, in the near-death experiences, I was in what I call the realm of the thousand suns. It's where the sun, where I was the light, in the light, was the light. And so that was always my point of reference. That was always, in healing, that was always the place where I had perfect harmony. I was in absolute perfect harmony with cosmic intelligence, universal intelligence, however you may want to define it. So in the healing processes, that was, again, my point of reference. And my voice was the means by which I could connect that consciousness with my physical body. I saw that we are holographic beings, that our spiritual and consciousness states are like the spine of a holographic image. And from this light, from this spiritual essence, so to speak, being the center, and everything an offshoot from this, emotional intelligence, physical, psychological, mental, everything was an offshoot from the spine of the spiritual spine, like the sushumna of the spine that we have, and the Ida and the Pingala, masculine and feminine principles, energetic principles around it. But this is more like we are, all of these are like trees, like branches from a tree. Okay. So being aware of that I knew that it was essential that within these branches there were energetic clusters that looked like spirals that were painful. That was where I experienced pain. It was like a denser cluster of energetic molecules, so to speak. Now, mind you, I'm not a scientist, but I'm trying my best to explain this. And the only way that I was able to access these energetic clusters was through meditation. And the only way I was able to release these energetic clusters was through sound. So these energetic clusters were like coils of pain. And when, I don't know if this is the case for everybody who has near-death experiences, but for me, there's a certain fearlessness that happens about death. Therefore, the concept of pain becomes very different. How we perceive pain and move through pain, or at least I did, became very, very different. I saw pain as an energy as opposed to something foreign and like a wall. I did not experience it as something to resist or confront. It was more becoming so small in the light that I could penetrate every part of those coils. So when I would sing or do sound, the coils would release. And the interesting thing is that there'd always be this sensation of pain. And I feel that the most important thing is to experience pain as energy as opposed to something that is foreign. Yes, it hurts, but pain in its own design heals itself. And it is an instrument of consciousness. Pain, it's like a vibrational consciousness in and of itself. And I really feel that what I saw is that the physical body, the mental body, the every aspect of our being strives to become in harmony and balance with the self. So the more that we have access to the supreme intelligence of our being, the I am, the light of our existence, the more we do to access that, the more this light will permeate and move through the branches of the tree, will move through the various the various pieces of ourselves. So it's all about remembrance. It's all about meditating, feeling the pain, and allowing that energy to play out. Because what persists, they say, what is it? What we resist persists. And as opposed to diving into it, if we resist it, it will consistently be there. And so it's vital to look at the inner workings of the mind, memories of who's hurt you, how you've been hurt, all of that, to fully examine and release the pain. And that to me is forgiveness. To me, forgiveness is not a psychological or a mental process. It's really a place where we can resist the pain, where we can move into the pain and allow it to simply wash away or uncoil itself. Sometimes you have to be a little persistent with it every time it comes up. So what happens is, with medication, it changes all of the pain receptors in the brain. It changes the information in the nervous system. Those coils are not met with the sensation of waking up to their existence. What they are met with is medication to bypass.
Or numb pain, yeah?
Yes. Because again, the body naturally gravitates to harmony. And that's the thing, that it's natural. If we look at nature, everything gravitates to harmony. When we look at the trees, when we look at the grass, especially after disasters, they go back to where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Everything moves, and they go back to a place of absolute harmony. This is the beauty about being in nature, that there is that harmonious component there that rebalances us.
Mm.
So when we see that cells and atoms have their own force field, we become a little bit more masterful in how we approach our pain. There's a way to become very aware that you can, or that it does exist, which I will explain later, and just one phase of it. So everything is vibration, everything is energy, and the truth of who we are is the consciousness, is that spine of spirit, the trunk of the tree. Anything that obstructs the experience or realization of the existence of this is simply aspects of consciousness, emotion, and physical and pain. That just needs to be worked through. It's like, too, we come in, there are generations of information in our conditioning, in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And to move through it, you have to get into it.
Not around it.
Not around it. And even this information is not the truth of who we are. Cultural identity, gender identity, all of that is not the truth of who we are. But you will notice, due to cultural or gender or whatever, there's all kinds of pain around it. There's all kinds of resistance. There's all kinds of ideas. There are all kinds of concretized consciousness around it all that is set up to be real when it's not. So that in and of itself is an aspect of disharmony that simply needs to be moved through and embraced as as an aspect of mind that truly doesn't serve you or doesn't really serve others. But it's part of the play that people choose here. It's part of the play that is enacted here. Mm. I recently did my DNA just out of curiosity, and a lot of interesting surprises there. But all this in saying that, there are certain things I could see that make a lot of sense in my behavior or proclivities, so to speak. But I'm not going to identify with it because I know that's not the truth of who we are. So all we have to do is get into that energetic space of the light being the core of our existence and everything extended from that. And look at coils, look at clusters of pain, clusters of thoughts, ideas, concepts, beliefs that inhibit the core of our being, the flow stream of the trunk of that tree, the flow of light moving to its branches and giving it life force. So why I chose to use meditation and sound rather than medication, because I knew that medication wasn't going to work. I knew that I remember one doctor giving me some pills for the seizures, and I held them in my hand, and for some strange reason, it just felt like it was maybe effective, 5 or 10%. And I wasn't looking to escape the seizures. I was looking to go into them to see what was causing them. And I realized that there was a vibration that I had before. I was aware that there was a vibratory resonance that I had before they would happen.
Mm.
And I was more confronted with the idea of not having full control, more so than the inconvenience of it.
Mm.
So that was something I explored and went into. So when I just allowed the lack of control to happen, I was able to get into that doorway of the coil to start implementing sound and vibration to change the density of frequency that was there. And so this is the value of meditation and the beauty of meditation, to where thoughts don't exist, that thoughts bypass, well, I shouldn't say thoughts don't exist, because they do, they're crazy, but you bypass the thoughts. You bypass everything that's in the way of accessing the supreme intelligence that resides within you. And you just let it go, let it flow. Don't think about it, don't catch it, don't get on that train, just let it move. And it's like a journey. There's no good meditation, there's no bad meditation.
Mm.
It's all a process. To me, a process of divine physics is what I call it. So meditation was a means for me to get into the depth or the center of these pain coils, so to speak. And then sound was a means to transform them.
I'm thinking, as you share, you were already a musician at the time of the accident when
Mm-hmm.
you went through these experiences and these tools, and you were probably already meditating for a long time. You were already on this path. So these tools were available to you. You had experience with these profound tools that you used, right? So
Yeah.
probably you alter them in some ways to guide you in this process. Now was a different level of pain you were going through, and applying them differently probably than before. So if somebody is not accustomed to these tools you already had experience, what can they do so they can come fully into themselves in spite of not having that experience already?
Mm-hmm.
What can people do when they are not used to that?
There is a process using sound that people can apply. It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
That will assist in the awareness of how sound moves and travels through the body,
Mm-hmm.
the nervous system, the heart, even sound in relationship to thoughts. And so I'd love to share that with you. There's also something else that I want to say, that I'm not suggesting that everybody heals such injuries and things, and even brain damage, with sound. That is how I elected to do it, because I knew at the time when he put that medication in my hand, I knew it wasn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I could feel the vibration of it, and I knew that sound and energetic healing was the answer for me. I knew it. I just knew it. It felt like medication felt like it was dead.
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, medication is essential.
Mm-hmm.
Sound, to me, can change, can transform even brainwashes, biochemistry.
Mm-hmm.
It can the resonance of sound can change every connection that we have back to the source of light. And that's how I see it. And I'm really trying to explain this as simply as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm. It brings to mind now, I don't know why this, you saw this movie, Shawshank Redemption, and when he plays that music through the speakers for those people in the penitentiary, that opera that he played, I don't know if you saw the movie, remember?
Yeah.
Everybody was just, something happened in them, was that sound of that opera just took them to a different place, like they were not there anymore in that penitentiary.
Yes, sound is a vehicle that carries through vibration that connects to consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we've got classical music, we've got various types of music that that exists now that has a profound effect on consciousness and on social consciousness, on collective consciousness. And I feel it's vital that we are aware of how the vibrational biome that it is creating around us and our children. And I don't feel that it is more powerful than nature. I feel that the vibration that exists in nature has the harmonic or harmonious component that brings us back to ourselves, because we are one with that. And it's amazing with the earth, with all of the cosmos, with all the planets and everything, it's all a vibrational interplay. So in the Shawshank Redemption, in that particular scene you're talking about, you can be transported, you can be uplifted. It's like information is coming into them that takes them from the vibrational environment that they are in and moves their minds into a whole nother place.
Absolutely.
Into a whole nother realm of experiencing themselves.
Absolutely.
So the transference of information is also part of sound. Sound healing, which I can talk about in another interview, because it's really important that we are aware of sound around us. And sometimes we're being fed information through sound, and this is where I think music is playing a huge role, especially the collective music, the popular music now is influencing an awful lot in the vibrational field. And when we have more control and awareness, we are able to redirect the vibrational frequency through us to where it doesn't obstruct the information of our light. It doesn't obstruct the supreme intelligence that lives within us and experiencing that. Because to me, that is where, how do you say, happiness, the vibration of happiness exists. And everybody's striving to be happy. Everybody's striving to be at peace.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's striving to forgive and be forgiven. But
Love.
everybody's striving for love when it is truly who we are. So why strive with it? Why find that there are concepts and ideas about what it is when in actuality there are ways to access, again, that supreme light within us that can change. You can move from a place of emotional turmoil to a place of absolute harmony when there's a discovery, when there is an implementing of vibration that can teleport us into that place. And there is nothing more profoundly healing than the human voice. when we our voices carry a universal intelligence, a unique universal intelligence. And this is why I feel, in the concerts that even though the instrument is the voice, it touches the voice of the people in the audience. Mm-hmm. There is a complexity of light dimension, so to speak, that lives in all of us. So it's so difficult to explain. For me, I'm trying to be as articulate as possible. But I feel that maybe we could go into a little meditation here to sort of open the door to embracing pain. I feel that that's a real fundamental thing, is to embrace the pain and allow the pain to guide us back to the light. Move through this cluster of vibration and go back to the light. So so let's basically, everybody, just, if you wish, sit in a very comfortable position. Now, and we can go look into the body. So close your eyes, and the tongue is placed very softly behind the upper teeth, where it's placed on the roof of the mouth. And just breathe deeply. Just feel the sensation of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth. And just breathe very softly. Now, eyes, focus the eyes up and in. So they're looking at your third eye here. With the eyes closed, up and in. Exercise those muscles. May feel a little uncomfortable at first, but the sensation of it brings focus to a very important part of our brain. Now scan the body from toe to the top of the head. Go from the feet to the ankles, to the legs, thighs, hips, stomach area, trunk of the body, heart, arms, neck, head. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to implement a very deep hum. So the hum is extremely low. It's that very deep, visceral hum. The vocal cords are extremely relaxed, and all that's moving through the vocal cords is air. So it's hum. Hum. So in your mind, focus on your right knee. Take a deep breath and hum 3 times, focusing on your right knee. Now focused on your left hand. Hum 3 times while focusing on your left hand. Now scan the body again, and wherever you feel the slightest sensation in the body, hum 3 times. So that just simply means there's a little cluster there. Feel any sensation in your knees, in your calves, in your ankles, and your thighs, anywhere. A little bit of pain, a little bit of a dynamic going on. Hum in that area 3 times, focusing on that area. Now find another area where you may have a bit of discomfort. In the back, on the spine, in the legs, wherever. And now simply sit quietly. Shanti. Take a nice deep breath. Open your eyes on the exhale.
Thank you so much, Vima. I don't want to say much so people can continue this energy, this vibration, and infinite love and gratitude for today. And
Thank
looking forward to hearing more from you, to hearing more of the music. And what a gift. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, love.
Love you. Thank you.
Malama Pono. Love you too. Aloha.